Jack Henry was outlining there. It was against very good opposition. Leanne Crichton and Neil McCann with us this evening. And Leanne, you can't help but feel a little bit flat after a Scotland defeat. And it wasn't a stellar performance either, but the context of this is that Japan are a very good side, as Liam McLeod mentioned in commentary, a side aiming for the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Where do you sit with the performance and result this evening?
I think the reality is we feel a little bit flat and probably disappointed with the performance and result, because I thought there was more there for us, if I'm being honest. I felt we could have really gone and get after the game. But it's trial and error in these types of games. That's why you take them on at this stage in the season with these types of windows and the availability of the teams and the top teams that are there, because you want to know where you're at heading into the tournament. Tuesday night will be a different type of test for Scotland, but tonight was a really good test at home, and if anything they've maybe given Japan too much respect coming into the game. You know, Steve touched on it at the start of the show and how much he had looked at them in the preparation for this one, and he expected big things. He thought it would have been a really tough game. I thought they flattered to deceive at points, but you could see the quality when Japan decided they wanted to go at us. A couple of moments caused us some real problems, but I think Scotland will come away probably thinking, OK, we've got a gauge for them if that's the level. We know how difficult they can be, but I think there was more there for Scotland tonight. I think Jack Henry alluded to that as well. But a real good test, and I think, you know, you're right, you can't have, you know, Scotland 4, Denmark 2 every night, but it gives us a really good gauge of where we are and where we think we can get to.
Neil Junior Ito with the decisive goal in this match, and there was moments of real quality from Japan in this game, as exemplified in this goal as well. But could Scotland have done more to keep it out of the back of the net?
I think when Angus sees us back, I think he'll feel he could do better there. He's sort of he's gone thinking he's trying to anticipate it's going to be slid across him, and he's almost down before the ball reaches him. And I think in hindsight, when he looks at it, I think he should save it. But they're good, they're incisive. We've seen, you know, all of these Japanese players come in, particularly with Celtic coming in and breaking lines and having that power and first touch. That touch with Ito there and the little feint just to drop Kieran Tierney just earns him a little bit of yard or half yard just to get a good look at the goal. But I agree with Leanne that this is a good side we'll play tonight, right? They're beating Brazil. As Jack says, they're one defeat in 10. They're serial qualifiers for World Cups. This is a good test. I think the thing that as viewers and supporters is that we want to see us being probably a wee bit more aggressive in our forward play, because generally we can be quite structured. And our campaign last year to get to the World Cup maybe wasn't our best football, but we did it. So once we're there this time, if you remember the Euros, we were all disappointed in how we went out and played in the Euros. I think everybody as a nation wants to see us playing with a wee bit of swagger, because I think we've got really good players there. And I would have loved to have seen Tommy Conway playing up with Lyndon Dykes, but he did such a disciplined role in a wide position, and it's hard to judge the boy on an opportunity tonight because it's not his normal one. But there's a lot of positives to take from it. That's a top side we played, a lot of positives, but I think we want to see us being a wee bit braver in possession.
It was an important day for Andy Robertson as he joined Jim Leighton on 91 caps. He almost marked it with a goal, Leanne. What a run this was.
An excellent run, Jonathan. Really good energy from the captain, driving his side forward. And you know he's got this in his locker. That's what we're speaking about, being more aggressive, having that attacking impetus in the team, looking to try and get Conway inside the pitch so you can allow Andy Robertson to venture forward. And when he does, he's so deadly. He's done it for well over a decade now in club football and country. But I just wondered whether he had every right to take the shot on. I won't take that away from him, but I thought he could have probably shaped it as well with some good bodies inside the box. But you want more of that from Andy Robertson. You know, people speak about his age and he's, you know, notching up these caps and whatnot, but he's got an engine. His athleticism has been a huge part of his career.
Let's get some more reaction now. Scott McKenna has joined Amy.
Scott, commiserations. How do you sum that one up today?
It was difficult. I think obviously we were playing against a good team. We had ideas that we worked on through the week that maybe we didn't execute quite as well as we wanted, certainly on the ball, and then off the ball we knew that they were going to try and play forward quick, and they have a lot of pace in the team to break early, and at times we didn't quite control that as well as we would have liked. So disappointing. We had a couple of chances in the game that we maybe could have took, but we didn't, and ultimately we gave up too many chances, and they eventually scored one towards the end there.
It's a top side, Japan, a very well-oiled machine, and a side that are used to competing at the top level, that speak volumes of perhaps where Scotland have come, though, that, you know, a narrow late defeat against Japan is leaving in disappointment.
Yeah, but obviously we're at home and we've qualified for a World Cup, and this team has come that far that at home we expect to win these games. But today we've not done it. Of course they've went quite deep into tournaments in recent years, so they are a decent team. But we also want to try and do the same going forward.
How important is it to try and put things right on Tuesday and build a bit of momentum ahead of a massive summer?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's another chance for the manager to work on different ideas against a different opponent. I'm sure there'll be some changes to the team. Other lads will get the opportunity to play. So, yeah, we'll see how Tuesday goes. But we're all looking forward to that and working on things towards the summer.
Of course, the shackles are off in the way that it's not a competitive game. But do you think sometimes there's maybe that little seed in the back of the mind that you know want to pick up an injury and you're maybe trying to impress a little bit too much at times?
I wouldn't say we're worried about picking up an injury. It's more trying to get in the manager's thoughts going towards the summer. Everyone's fighting for places, and yeah, it's healthy because we've got a lot of players in this team that are capable of being in the starting 11.
I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
You could just feel the disappointment from Scott McKenna there in terms of the result. Scott McTominay, always a big player these days for Scotland, Neil, and he would have a few sights of goal. We've become quite, not reliant on Scott McTominay, but we do need him at his very best at times, don't we?
Yeah, well, he's come up with some special moments for us. He's become quite the talisman from playing at right centre-back to becoming probably our most lethal threat from midfield area. He catches it well, Jonathan. His run's excellent, and it's a really good save from Suzuki. But look, the moments that we did have, you know, Scott's on the back of a couple of them. And I thought Hurst did well when he came on as well in the second half, and looks like just what Scott McKenna was saying there, that there's guys fighting for chances to be into this World Cup squad. He's a stick-on, of course, Scott McTominay, and he will be a big player for us out there. But we must find more ways of threatening opposition goalkeepers.
Absolutely. I mean, tonight, Leanne, really kind of felt like an exercise for Scotland and Japan in terms of trying to find tactical ways of playing the game. But do Scotland still need to find some sort of distinct pattern of play? It feels like we're still kind of searching for it at times.
At times, yeah. I think we need a solution up top. I think there's been a few players now tried and tested to a point, but nobody that really sticks to the same identity. I think there's a variation of forwards that come into the side, whether it's Conway, Dykes, Adams at points. I think when you get the likes of McGinn playing off the striker, I like Christie off the front as well at points, but it feels like we chop and change dependent on the opposition, which I get. At times you need to change, you need to be adaptable, but it is just that one focal point of the team for me that is probably missing, where you don't have that guarantee.
Indeed. OK, Scotland's player of the match, as voted by James McFarren, was Kenny McLean. He's joined Amy.
Kenny, a tough one to take, no doubt. How do you sum that one up?
Yeah, obviously a disappointing result back here at Hampden. We would have liked to have been a bit better and obviously got a better result. We were against a very good team tonight, but it's good to get these challenges. We're obviously trying to prepare as well as we can for a big summer ahead, and we'll keep improving. Every opportunity we get to take the field, we'll try and get better, and that's what we'll do again on Tuesday.
Appreciate you've not had much time, but what is the message from the manager post-match?
Yeah, there was some decent enough stuff. The shape was decent enough at times, as I say, against a team who moved the ball very well. Second half was a little bit better out of possession. I think we could have been a bit more threatening top end of the pitch. And we the game was a bit too expansive at times. And as I mentioned there, they're a really good team. They press you really well, but it's something that we're going to come up against in the summer. So we'll learn from it, we'll watch it back, we'll get better, and we'll keep improving.
It's a bit difficult, perhaps, to come back after what happened the last time you were here, perhaps trying to reach those levels. Yeah,
there's an expectation there now, and we want the expectations on us. We want to reach new levels as a squad, as a country, and we'll be better for that, no doubt.
Speaking about expectations, are you just now going to hear shoot every single time you're on the ball at Hampden?
Yeah, actually had a couple of opportunities where I should have. One broke out from my corner, I think, and then there was one in the first half where I drove forward. So it's I'll try and make my own decision, but sometimes I'll listen to the crowd.
Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, cheers.
Huge weight of expectation on his shoulders now to just score for the halfway line every match. Probably slightly unfair.